What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Orcs Must Die 3. We're going through the Rift Lord campaign, and next up is the Master's Courtyard. Let's hop in and get it done. Alright, so here we go. This particular one is a little sweaty for the first few waves. There's just no doubt about it. We're not going to be using a big variety of traps, and that is freeing up an incredible amount of trinket space. So for this run, we're going to bring along the Stone Staff, the Jar of Ghosts, the Mana Rage Trinket, Trap Reset Trinket, Healing, the Flip Trap, the Saw Blade Launcher, the Barricade, Brimstones with Arcane Damage, and then the Tar Trap. As you guessed, we're bringing along those Flip Traps to try to take advantage of a couple of these environmental built-in traps. However, to start things off, we are going to do it just kind of like normal by blocking off one side and forcing all of the orcs over this way. Now, I do want to not build a ton on this very first wave, and the reason is we're going to want to sell it. So, although I do have 2,200 coin left, I'm just going to sweat it out through wave 1 here and make sure I just am able to sell those two Saw Blade Launchers. Now, I'm just going to leave these barricades here throughout the duration of the map. And basically, we are just going to wreck them up. We're going to get a little assist from the Saw Blades here. And besides that, it's all us. So, as I mentioned, just very, very sweaty here for the first few waves. However, it does ease up the further you get into the map, no doubt. So let's go ahead and drop our Jar of Ghosts. We're going to have a couple of Fire Lords on wave 1 here on Rift Lord mode. And Fire Lords, of course, can be a pain. Now, we don't have any barricades to worry about them destroying yet, but what we do have is some firelings that like to run super, super fast. So I'm popping all the stuff right here, making sure I am on top of these guys. I'd like to get as many of these little guys burned out as possible before the Fire Lord gets here, or before the Fire Lord gets broken up. And then we'll be able to focus on those firelings, as the firelings move quick. They are extra speedy, no doubt. So Fire Lord is going to drop into a fireling there. And then we had one, a little straggler. And wow, for some ungodly reason, I didn't get near as many firelings as normal. So we are just going to go ahead and head on over to this side and start our final kill box now. A little derp on that placement. We'll live, and we're going to just get it to here. Now, we don't have enough coin to completely enclose it, so we are going to want up here and get up here and get sweaty. Now, there is going to be an ogre on wave 2 here, so we're going to want to be conscious of the ogre. And this is really the last wave that's kind of harsh, where you can have something sneak by if you're not careful. We're going to have a butt ton of kobold runners here in just a moment, so I want to be prepared for those guys, no doubt. I'm not afraid to take a shot here, because if I do take a hit, then that enemy is going to get feared, and that's going to ease the tension a little on that guy. Now, here come our kobold runners. Let's see what we can do to get them burned out. We've got our ogre is finally arrived. I think we can just go ahead and get that guy as well. So we'll burn that one out and just put this Stone Staff to work and get through the rest of these mobs. So can be a little bit trying. However, it is quite doable, as you see here. Alright, so now we got 4,700 left, and we need to really finish out our last resort here a little. Things are going to get smashed in here. It's going to get ugly. We're going to be focusing mainly on the Saw Blade Launchers. Saw Blade Launchers for the win. They're just extremely powerful, and they are going to wreck it up on this one. Now, we are going to double barricade this wall, because there is a lot of Fire Lords. Those firelings are going to be exploding in the kill box, and we know we're going to lose some barricades. Now, I will probably end up losing a barricade right here on this wave, so I'm hoping I can gather up enough coin if that does happen. So let's just get them wrecked. You want to let the orcs come at least to your Saw Blade Launcher. That way it does launch the saws. Now, I've got the Saw Blades facing forward. That way it will bounce in between the barricades and down the lane this way. And that's going to help ease the pain for those mobs in the back. But the second those Saw Blades reset, I do want to let some orcs get to them. So important that they get there. You see that ogre even got handled by the saw blade there, right at the end of that one. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and we'll get our brimstone up front. We'll go with a little bit of tar. We'll go with another brimstone. And I think we're going to go one more barricade right there, just as a safety precaution. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to try to take advantage of these grinders. So I've got a little bit to go. Obviously, we've got to get a last resort set up before we can worry about those. This particular map has got, once again, a very generous part time. So the map does run long. However, we should finish the map with several minutes left, really. And the part time is more than adequate, no doubt. So once more, we're going to let enemies get down to the saw blades. And then when the saw blades go off, that's when we'll get up there and wreck it up. The saw blades put in so much work. You see there, they actually took out the fire lords, or the fire elementals. So just a crazy amount of work they put in, no doubt there. We're just going to handle this ogre since he's out there by himself, and then we'll let the orcs kind of feed on in a little bit further and get chewed apart by the saw blades once again. So we're going to continue that all the way down here. Now, I debated on bringing a freeze and putting it right here and right here, but I kind of feel like I don't need it, to be honest. It's the saw blades, if you use them effectively, they're just insanely powerful. So now we've got 3 of them set up, so even better. I do want to save a little bit of coin here so we can start working on getting some flip trap hotness going right there. And then we'll work on that top one after we get this lower one dealt with. Now, leaving those barricades up top, of course, everything from that lane upstairs behind me is going to have to run through and past that flip trap. I've got the flip trap set so it resets faster. So it's not going to put any of the larger mobs, the ogres or anything else, into that grinder. However, it's going to reset quicker, so it's going to get a lot more of the little guys. So just relying on that to try not to get overwhelmed. Now, there's lots of different strategies you can use for this map. However, I just feel like this one is pretty darn easy. And I think this is probably the most efficient way to get it done in a quick manner without having to run around all over the world. So definitely a bit of a turtley build here, but we are able to do it with relative ease now that we have things set up. Now let's see, let's just go ahead and we'll put 2 barricades there, and that will put that flip trap into action. And I want to start getting this one ready as well. Now you can go too wide and move them over just half a tile, but if you do that, then enemies are sometimes will hit into the wall. So I usually just go 1 flip trap there. On that particular row, I like to use the doubles. Of course, we're going to need a little bit more coin before we can get that set up. We should be able to get it set up for waves 7 and 8 here. But just relying on the saw blade technique. So let them get into the saw blades. Then the saw blades are going to go down the row and just destroy everything behind it. So the front mob will not get destroyed by those saw blades. However, the mobs behind them will just get chewed up like there's no tomorrow. So just letting them make it down here. We got some fatties now. We got an armored ogre here, and we lost a barricade there due to that fire lord. However, we've got those backup barricades, so we've got no emergency there at all. We're just going to just keep firing into this armored ogre, and the saw blades are going to just go off with this ogre parked in front of them and clear the mobs behind. So everything else has gone behind except just that one more armored ogre. And there we go. So we do want to replace this barricade, as it's important that we keep our cushion down there. However, we've got enough barricades now where we can go ahead and set up a little something to force enemies through. Now for wave 8, I'll probably go ahead and throw a little bit of tar on each side just to slow them down before they get onto the flip trap itself. But for the rest of it, we are just relying on these saw blades. So kind of a basic strategy, but the saw blade is powerful, and this is a really easy way to take advantage of them. So we're getting not a ton of kills, but we are going to get some flip trap kills into those big environmental grinders. Let's let these guys head on down here. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. And it's just amazing how efficient these things are at clearing the pack behind. Just absolutely ridiculous. It just mashes literally everything behind it. I mean, just dropping those elementals like they're nothing there. Just crazy, crazy good. We lost a barricade up front once again, but same thing. We got our cushion, so it is all good. We got one orc somewhere. I think it may have got kind of launched into a rock or something there. And let's see. Let's go ahead and put some tar in up here to kind of slow them up before they go in. And then we got 3,000 left, so we can just go ahead and make this area even easier for us. So we'll go with a couple more tar. And another of those arcane brimstones, and it's GG's, y'all. It's wave 8. We got 4 minutes left to run it, and it's like a 2-minute run, so we got lots of time. We can just kind of chill right here and just let the map do its thing. So we're going to get lots of free kills from those environmental traps. You saw all those up there that just ripped off. That was a very nice group of combos just from that environmental trap. And let's let these orcs come on in now. Come on down there, Orcalicious. And there we go. Once we get our last saw blade off, then we want to rinse and repeat. And just wait until the saw blades reset. As soon as the saw blades reset, we'll let another one come on down. And I think we actually got him, yeah. So these saw blades are bouncing down the lane and straight out. So, I mean, you see the amount of impact they're having. It's pretty substantial. Let's let these fly off here. And we're going to have to put some work into this Fire Lord manually, but should not be a problem at all. We lost a barricade, no big deal. I'm going to put that back just to keep the saw blades bouncing properly. However, it is over, y'all. We got just a couple of mobs left, and we still got 3 minutes of par time, so no reason to sweat it out on the Master's Courtyard. Go with good old basic simple, turtle it up at the Rift, and get yourself some 5-skull wins. So that will do it for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time with some more Orcs Must Die 3. Thanks again, y'all.